Your driver said you're going to be prepared for this question.
All right. I've been asking about UFOs in light of David Fravor, who's a who was a Navy pilot back in 2004 and reportedly chased a UFO off the West Coast. And he became famous in the Times in 2017. I'm just trying to figure out what people make of it.
Well, I do think there's extraterrestrial life out there. It would be too much of a coincidence if the only, quote, life in the universe or the universes was that on planet Earth. So I do think life is out there. Do I think it's intelligent life? Yeah, I think it's probably more intelligent than us Homo sapiens. So does that admit of the possibility of space exploration by them? It does. I mean, it's a little too convenient to have it be a flying saucer. I think it might take some other form that we couldn't see so readily, but I would never say never. And, you know, one thing I do very much believe in is that people can remember, by just having it stored in their brain cells that came down from their grandmother and their grandfather, things that happened a couple of hundred years ago. I mean, why do we look so much like our grandparents if there's no tissue, you know, passing down in one way or another? The famous case there is from the 1950s called Bridie Murphy, who was a Phoenix housewife who fell into a trance at a cocktail party, a dinner party in Phoenix, Arizona, and fell to the floor babbling in some language nobody knew. And then they took her into the experts, and it was some form of Gaelic, which existed, you know, 300 years ago in the part of Ireland where her family came from, and she started babbling about this church and that church. And I read all I could on it. It looked to me like it was not a fraud. But I also think that that's physically not all that, you know, as I say, we look so much like our two generations earlier. Why could there not be some memory passed on through brain cells?
But there were radar signatures on the Nimitz case.
There were what? Radar
signatures. It was picked up on radar, so it wasn't just the pilots just seeing stuff, it was documented.
Okay, I haven't been into that the way I have the Bridie.
I'll check it out.
Okay.
It's interesting.
I'll check it out. As you
Thank
can
you.
tell, I'm a curious individual.
Absolutely.
Governor, we really...
As Commander-in-Chief, what would you say on day one to our Space Force?
I love the Space Force.
Do you love the Space Force?
Oh, it's one of the best things Trump has done. I love his increasing the NASA budget. I loved when the U.S. and the Russians had these joint space stations, so instead of glaring at each other, we'd be both looking in the same direction. Oh no, I'm an explorer outer space guy from the get-go.